The return of Mike Foligno to the Maple Leaf fold was welcomed by everyone. Nick Beverly brought him in, and Foligno immediately went to work boosting the collective spirit of a team and a city that missed his infectious enthusiasm.
A lot of the players on this club know me. They know what type of individual I am, and I think the people in this community know what type of individual I am, and I'm just going to try to bring that out a little bit more. I think that one of my greatest attributes is to be able to speak to people, to be able to communicate with people, and I think that that's one of the first things I'm going to have to try to do, to make sure that every player is understanding of what is expected of them and what our expectations are as a coaching staff.
Going for the net. The pass back to the line. Shot. Score! Foligno scores the goal to give the Leafs a 5-4 overtime win here in Detroit. A quick shot.
As a player, Foligno was a coaching staff's dream, a hard-driving winger whose finest moments seemed to come when it mattered most.
Whether it be Detroit, Buffalo, or Toronto, he always worked very intensely, always wanted to win, and was always somebody that tried to get the players to rally around each other. He liked a very close team, so that's something that he tries to bring as a coach. He tries to keep everybody together, tries to keep everybody upbeat, and tries to keep everybody working as hard as they can.
The same qualities the Maple Leafs needed this season.
When we made the coaching change way back and the players were really low because things hadn't been going very well for quite a long period of time, when you bring a Mike Foligno into the dressing room with his upbeat mood all the time, it's just brings about a positive effect.
Foligno is perpetually positive and in perpetual motion. That's how he played, and that's how he coaches.
You wouldn't think he's a coach the way he runs around here and acts. He's a very vocal guy. He probably talks more now than he did when he was a player. He has a little more time in his hand, I guess. So, like I said, he's a very vocal guy, full of stories, and a lot of times you almost have to tell him to shut up because we got to go out and play because he gets into these stories. But everything he says, he means, and that's, you know, when it comes from him, it's a quality comment.
But for all the kibitzing and camaraderie, the relationship changes somewhat.
It changes a little bit in that he becomes a coach and he has to step away from the team and he's got other responsibilities. But in some ways, you still say that the friendships stay there because you went through the battles together. So, and it's good in ways that, you know, he played the game and now he's coaching the game, so he knows a lot what the players go through.
But what Foligno's going through to become a coach is different from anything else he experienced as a player.
Well, I think there's a lot of differences. A gentleman told me a long time ago that 15 years of hockey never prepares you for one day of coaching, and they were right. I think that it's a new position totally. It's nothing to do with actually going on the ice and doing the work as maybe you're used to. As a player, you go on the ice and you perform the task, but as a coach now, you've got to try to instill other people to go out there and do the work. And so there's one difference there that is a drastic difference. The other part is motivating them to go out there and do the job. And the other aspect is also to prepare them, to let them know what they're in store for against the team that they're playing against. And that goes back to the practices previously to the game, changing them and preparing the teams properly so that we can go out and be successful.
And so far, he's been successful, be it behind the Leaf bench in Toronto or the Baby Leafs bench in St. John's.
I remember my first 3 months in St. John's with Tom Watt, and the first 3 months, it took me really 3 months to get to know the office work, preparation for practices, breaking down game tapes, and you learn every day.
And every day he learns is one day closer to becoming a head coach.
I'm very comfortable being an assistant right now, and I think that I'll continue to be an assistant until the time comes maybe down the road, but it's everything. My whole life has been one step at a time, and that's basically the way I'm looking at this.
And while it looks likely, the only question is when.